scared of you, motherfucker. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker. I ain't scared of you, motherfucker.
Yo, what's up? It's Q. You're listening to For the Fear of Silence.
Everyone's smiling.
There's a lot going on today, right now. We're not used to all this. Okay, everyone introduce yourself, and then we'll introduce our guests after.
All right. So my name is Jalen.
Not like that. They know who you are. It's fucking week 16.
They better though.
They better.
Yo, it's Jalen, yo.
And Marcel.
And Marcel. And I want to do like a real, our last guest didn't get this intro, but like, let's we need a For the Fear of Silence intro.
A little script that we need to come up with.
Someone like, this guy scaled mountains.
I did. Never.
He's kayaked on seas.
Yes.
Have you ever done spelunking?
Yes.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
He didn't kill a bear. He just saw it.
That's better
but
than
like
most.
his looks could kill.
Damn.
Yeah. I like
Look at
that.
me. Why would you do that?
So introducing our good friend Rory. What's up, Rory?
What's up? Happy to be here.
Yeah, fuck. I mean, we've been trying to get this to work out for a while. And finally it happened last minute. That's always how these things happen, eh?
Welcome to life.
Literally, we messaged, we're like setting up for weeks. It's like, oh no, I can't do this day. We're like, oh shit, we can't do this day. And then literally we're like, shit, what are we gonna do for the podcast? I'm like, oh, let me text Rory. I'm like, yo, tomorrow, you there? And he's like, yeah, man, we're down. So
Came with his own mic, hella prepared.
Sometimes you gotta be like Jalen and just not prepare to do something on time.
Oh my god.
Defend yourself.
Yo, I'm prepared to smash your ass in basketball. That's what I'm gonna do.
We gotta bring that back.
That's what I'm gonna do.
When is this basketball match happening?
I keep telling this guy.
Way back.
When's the last time you've been to the gym?
Yo, don't worry.
When's the last time you've been to the gym?
Don't worry.
Damn. What kind of gym though?
When's the last time you shot a basketball?
Yo, don't worry. When's the last time you shot a basketball?
Yo, a long time still. It's been years.
Oh shit.
Last time I was in school, like,
Yo, when it comes down to it, Jalen, I love you, but I'm gonna embarrass you. I'm gonna embarrass you so bad you might text your ex because no new girl's gonna want you.
Yo, no, you're not.
I gotta get that on video. Make it a GIF.
I can't wait.
You see your video guy you just invited?
Yeah.
You see him?
Yeah.
He's gonna be there.
He's gonna be there.
I played sports with you guys. You guys are like, you talk all the time, like, and then when you're actually playing, you're like, oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna take a break. Like,
I told him they were like
playing
up to
football
11.
team is like they played a practice and they just sat the whole time. Like Jalen just fell asleep in the middle of the field. Like,
Is there even a flag football team? Is there even a team?
That's because nothing was on stake, you know? Like, now, like, our pride's on stake, so...
Not my pride. If I lose, I lose. I played hockey my whole life.
What
It sucks for
talking
you.
about? How's it suck for me?
Because you think you're a basketball player.
I never thought I was a basketball player.
What did you play? What sport are you then?
I love
what would be your
it's
sport?
I would
reverse.
say football. Yeah, more so than basketball, definitely.
I think your sport is riding benches.
Goodness gracious.
Yo, at least I make the team, bro. Like, the
studio audience is laughing.
This guy's acting like I never made it, like, you know? But, all right.
Yo, didn't everyone
bad.
make the team?
I
Goodness.
guess not you, though. Like,
What's the form like?
I didn't make the team because I didn't want to make. Oh, you talking basketball or football?
I'm talking about basketball.
Oh, yeah.
Football, everybody walked on.
Yeah.
Like.
I got cut. I definitely got cut in basketball. I was on the bubble, though. I was on the bubble.
On the
What
cusp.
does that mean?
You know, when they're like, okay, we can keep 2, but we got 3.
You're not even best 2 out of 3. What is that? That's even worse.
Yo.
I'm not best 2 out of 3 out of the worst of the 10.
That's what I mean.
But that's why it's going to be embarrassing
That's
when
hilarious.
Jalen loses. When Jalen loses, it's going to be even more embarrassing.
This is his one thing. This is all he has left.
Yeah.
It's not gonna happen.
Man,
Yo,
just-
this guy was talking to Moles during pool.
Yo, just
He's
unblock
like, yo,
your
you can't
ex
play
now.
pool. What do you even play pool? I'm
Unblock
like, all
your
right,
ex
all right.
now. Just unblock your ex now.
I want it to be a
because
GIF.
You're going to want the text to come back. When you say you up because you're still not getting nothing because this
Yo.
video is on YouTube, just unblock it from now.
Yo,
God. Give me your phone. I'll unblock
I'm telling you,
it.
like,
you're
once they
tired
actually
of all
play, it's
this
just going to
ish
be really,
before.
really
No, it's gonna be
slow
horrible.
and bad.
I'm saying up to 5. I don't think they'll make it to 7.
Oh,
honestly.
yeah.
My cardio
They'll need
is
to take
10
a
times
break.
better than him. He might score 5 and then just be too tired to stop me for the next 11.
Good. Up to 11. Y'all still set on 11?
I'm dead set on 11. This guy can't.
He said dead at 7, though.
No, skunk at 7.
First to 11, win by 2, dead at 7.
Yeah.
So 7.
Yeah.
So this is the rules.
Yo,
This
you
is
got
the
it.
rules.
You got it.
Roy,
You got
this
it.
is the
You got
rules.
it.
This is the
Dead at
rules.
7.
This is the rules. Win by 2. Game is to 11. If one of us scores 7 before the other person scores any, it's done.
Well,
it's
yeah.
skunked.
Goodness, 7.
But is it win or keep? Like like shoot like you keep it like winner gets
Winner's
ball?
ball?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, this is
Of
good.
course, goodness
I wanna be
gracious.
How are we
there.
gonna
Why
decide
you
how
want
to
to do
do
loser
this?
ball?
I don't know. You
Nah,
might want
loser's
to
ball
do
would
it.
be trash.
You might want to do
it.
it. Don't be calling it halfway
You gotta
through
play
the game
defense
when
to
you're
get the
down.
ball.
When you're down, like I don't want to hear nothing
Yo,
like.
I just can't wait. This guy is talking.
I just want to be there and
well,
play.
Oh, don't worry, if you're not there, it's gonna be up on YouTube. So
Our
it's gonna
first
work
YouTube
out.
video.
All right, let's get into the real shit. Well, not the real shit. We do have a if you're just listening to this, Rory, and we'll get into kind of why we invited him here and all that
It's
stuff.
not because he's a great person.
It is
No.
because he's a great person, and he's a great person for inventing what he invented, and it's the name of this podcast, Shallow, Medium, Deep. But first, our group chat was kind of on fire because out of the three of us thinks that Kanye's album is not trash. So, Jalen,
well, like,
please explain.
mediocre. It's disappointing. Is disappointing that he's fallen this far?
Goodness gracious. False prophets.
You know what I'm saying?
Cue the track.
Because it's 7 tracks, right?
Yeah.
And I was going through the track list to see and I listened to this a ton of times. Like I did not give this just like 1-2 listen. Oh, it's done. It's trash. Throw it away. Because people were telling me that they love it and it's amazing, right? So I'm like, okay, I have to see what they see, or at least attempt to see. And I was going through the track list. So what's the first one? I thought about killing you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love me more than I love you.
This one,
I'm
I
not
don't know.
killing myself, so I'll definitely kill you. I was like, all right,
Yeah.
1 + 1 = 6. Yeah, I got it.
I don't know if he's talking about Kim. I don't know if he was talking about critics. I don't know if he's talking about demons. I don't know if he's talking about the listener.
Whoa.
You know, so when I was just
Give me
listening
your
to
15, I'm gonna stab you.
it, well, I'm just saying, I'm just listening to it. I'm just like, I'm shook. Like, you know,
Yeah.
what's going on here? And then it goes into
Yikes.
Goes
I
into
got
Yikes.
I got it up here.
So Yikes, I guess, is a hype track. But to me, like, this was like a leftover Pablo track. Like, it didn't even.
Yeah.
It sounds like it didn't make the cut.
Yeah,
For Life
yeah.
of Pablo. Like, it
Okay,
was-
so that's 2 skips.
that was disappointing. Like the
Okay.
beat, like okay, these instrumentals are good. Like I'll give it that. But
I need you to make the case as to why this isn't trash. Not go through track list to track list. Because
I don't know if I can make
There's
the-
only
No,
7
no.
songs, and you already told me 2 of them are.
And then the
So
first
that
one.
means you got
so-
5 songs left
yeah,
to tell me why
exactly.
this album's worth it.
no. I'm not saying it's worth it. I just want to like have a discussion as to why, like he's fallen this far. Like why has this gone down so much?
So wait,
Because-
do you like this album or not? Because I thought today you were talking about how you like this album.
well, like I want to tell you, I wanted to just have a discussion about it because when we get into All Mine, I hate that song. But
Even
then
though
we
that's
get
the most popular song, isn't that fucked?
All Mine is the most popular one?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I-
the one with the little Apple Music star that means everyone's playing that one.
No, I hate that one.
Yeah.
But when we get into No Mistakes, sorry, we get into
Wouldn't Leave,
and No Mistakes.
Ghost Town, Violent Crimes.
So those two, I actually really like those two. I think these two, like when Kanye is trying to talk about his family and like being like a father and stuff like that, and being a husband, I think this is where we get the most introspective and interesting Kanye. Because like when he's talking to shit and he's doing the like look at me, like I'm the illest. He does not have the metaphors and the punchlines anymore
So do you feel like
to carry it.
the family thing is honestly one of the only real things that he can draw upon now?
Yeah.
Because everything else is so convoluted with
Yeah.
whatever it be, whether like
Yeah, I
if it's
think it's
fashion's
fake
not
and
working out or
convoluted.
people just annoying him and then him not being able to, or the bipolar disorder
Yeah,
that
I
he
feel
says
like
that
he's
he has.
posturing and he's just like it's just not good at all. And
Yeah.
then when we get it, so and when what is it? I Wouldn't Leave or
It's All Mine, then Wouldn't Leave, No Mistakes,
No Mistakes.
Ghost Town. Okay.
No Mistakes is my all time favorite song on the album because I think it's because of the sample and I think it's because the hook.
Who's on that? Which one is
I
the
think
one
it's
with the
Charlie.
Ty Dolla? Oh, that was the one. Charlie Wilson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Charlie Wilson and Ty Dolla $ign together on the track.
Okay, that one was fire. Yeah.
No,
Wait, is that-
it's
that's
not
All Mine.
fire.
It was
That's All
good.
Mine.
It was
It's
really
not
good.
fire.
You like All Mine?
I like the one with Ty Dolla $ign starting it off. That track. I like that a lot.
Isn't that All Mine?
No, I think that's the next one. All Mine is
Or-
yeah.
Yeah, it does the high pitch.
That's
yeah.
not Ty Dolla $ign.
I don't know who it is. That's
It
Ty
sounds
Dolla
like
$ign.
Young Thug almost, but not really.
No, no, I
It
thought
sounds
was
like
on
The
this,
Dream. That's who it sounds
Oh,
like.
okay. I think it was the
It sounds
Dream.
like The
I saw an
Isn't
interview.
the
It was
Dream
the Dream.
in
It was.
Wouldn't Leave and Party Next Door?
I don't know. Who cares?
But like, let's say those, like those two, I like a lot.
you want to know what the problem with this album really is?
Tell us, Q.
Yeah.
It's background music.
Well,
The reason I like Kanye's old stuff is because when that shit comes on, it's infectious.
Yeah.
It makes like I played on Blame Game today, like on like just getting ready for work, and like
I love that track.
It's infectious. Like you listen
Yeah.
and you want to listen to it. It's like the J. Cole album why J. Cole's KOD was so good is because when I put it on, I was sitting there with my headphones in and I wanted to hear what he was saying. When I'm listening to the Kanye album on the way to work, I literally was just like biking and like I didn't listen to anything.
Yeah.
It was just there. And then once it's done, it didn't, like KOD, you wanted to listen to it again.
Yeah.
Right? Like a good album, you get through it, like Daytona even. Like Push's album, I got through it and I was like, shit, I don't think I grasped everything I was supposed to grasp.
It has more to give me, yeah.
So let me go back again, right? This album, I went through it once and I'm like, I did it. My brother referenced, he said it's a book. That's how, because I messaged him right away.
I don't think it's a book. I think it's
no,
like
but in the sense that a book, you read a book, and I mean, there's some good books. You're gonna like The Alchemist. You could read 50,000 times, and it's still great.
Right.
But there's those books like a personal finance book.
Yeah.
You read once, you take what you take, and then you move on.
Yeah.
I feel like this album is just that. You listen to it, you got it, and you're good. You don't need to go back a second time. He told you everything already.
And that's one of the biggest things that hurt me when listening to this album. Is like the lyrics have completely fallen
Holy
off.
fuck.
Like completely. Since Yeezus, honestly, I don't think he's given a fuck. And I think for Pablo, there was a lot of good stuff there, but there were a lot of other people either featuring on those tracks or writing those tracks with him. So this one, I really feel like in a week, he just went off to Wyoming, was it?
Yeah.
Wrote some things down, and then so like the skill of the artist to chop up beats or whatever, Kanye's always been able to do that, and he's been doing that for so many people over the years. That's never been something that I've faulted him on or felt like he's fell off of. But his penmanship game, he does not practice that shit. In terms of like, I think even on KOD once again, J. Cole brags about the fact that he's going to be here for much longer than a lot of these little rappers because he practices on a regular basis. For an album, he puts in a year and a half of time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you don't need a week to just like, okay, what just sounds nice? Oh, okay, so Trump fucked a porn star. Okay, I'll put that in there, and I'll just make a verse on literally what's happening today in the news. It's really what it seemed like, right? So this would have been a lot better as an instrumental. Like if you just put out these 7 songs without the lyrics, I would have actually fucked with this more because I think him talking on it actually brought the value down. Which sucks to say.
Yeah, it sucks.
Which is horrible. And he's like, prior to this, episodes of this, we were saying he's our favorite artist, right?
Yeah.
So it's just like, it's the falling off, as Jalen said. You're just watching him crumble before you. And you're just like, I don't even know what's wrong.
But I mean, you either die a hero or you live long enough to become a villain.
This
Shout out
sounds
to
like
them
a
writers.
poor man's 444.
Sorry?
This sounds like a Jay. Like this sounds like poor man's Jay-Z's 444. Like he put you on game and he worked it. Like he poured his soul into this album, you know, and it sounds like it.
Instead, Kanye's talking about Christian Mingle getting Tristan caught up.
Exactly. Like it wasn't the videos that we saw where it's like, my man's just
excuse
fucking.
me, none of these women grabbing on Tristan's dick in the club did he find on Christian Mingle. I mean, maybe, but I don't believe those. That's where.
But even the next line saying like, if you didn't have Tristan's stature, you would have lost your girl. So like, Chloe's just staying with him because he got ball money. Because LeBron negotiated a crazy contract for him, even though he's trash.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Shout out to the Cavaliers getting swept out here. now you know how the Raptors feel, motherfucker.
And I can appreciate Violent Crimes, where he talks about his daughter.
Yes.
Isn't that something else weird where he was just like, I want my daughter. My daughter's gonna grow up to have a body like him, and then
No,
Kim
I
doesn't.
don't want her.
Yeah.
I'd rather my daughter grow up and have a body like me, like mine, than a body like Kim or something like.
But Kim
he
doesn't
said.
have a body like Kim.
That's
the problem,
man. Yes.
Plastic surgery
And she
doesn't
might even be
genes.
like in a better position because like she has a little bit of black in her now, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
That's the whole clusterfuck of shit. And we can
I'm just
talk about
saying-
it. I think at the very least it's entertaining. At the very least.
I'm just gonna say like that one I can appreciate because it seems like he's trying and he's like caring. He's like, oh, like now I gotta change my ways because I have a daughter. I don't
Isn't
want to
that
protect
fuck
her.
though?
And
My
that's
man's
our world.
40 something, and he's at least 39, 38.
He's 40 now.
Yeah.
Almost took him 4 decades to figure out to treat women with respect
I know.
because you have a
I know.
daughter.
See, that's what I find it funny. But
I guess I wouldn't like it if someone just fucked my daughter and went away.
and there's a lot of holes in that lyrics too.
Like what the fuck?
But
My God.
crazy.
it's this. I didn't have high expectations at all for this album. Even when Daytona came out, I still didn't have expectations for this album.
Yeah.
And it didn't even meet those expectations. Like it was even more.
But Pusha T wrote those lyrics and then he only did switch the beats, right? So he had his album. Kanye was like, "Nah, I'm gonna do all that shit for you."
Yeah, he's like gonna redo all the beats.
So then, but he already had his lyrics from time, and like the last album was like, I swear, like years back, right? So that's what I mean. It's just the time and the effort that you're putting into this. And Jay-Z can do it in a week because Jay-Z doesn't write shit down, but he's also honed his craft in terms of like he's known for being a rapper, while Kanye.
But this album literally sounds like he did it like last minute.
No, and you
Like,
can
it's
tell.
hilarious.
It's that, and
It's
he's just like, you can
hilarious.
listen to it and be
slapped
like,
in
no,
in
this is a drop off.
What is it? Wouldn't leave. He slapped in those fresh lyrics with
Yeah,
like, oh,
yeah.
they say like slavery was a choice.
Yeah.
Imagine you caught me on a wild day.
Then he's like
And?
talking about Kim Kardashian, telling him he's gonna fuck the money up or whatever.
Yeah,
he
it's like,
said.
you
you need to what? You're gonna bring us all down or something like that.
yeah,
It was-
we're gonna lose it all. And he's
Yeah.
like, oh, you can leave. And then she's like, nah, she wouldn't. That's it. And then he gets in the chorus.
Imagine that. It was just like, you're gonna fuck all this shit up. Then leave, bitch. It's like, nah. All right then.
Nah, that won't look
All right,
good.
then we're not gonna change at all.
I love the hook though. I love
I'm
the
not
I
gonna
love the
heed your
sample. And I love the
instructions.
hook. So I don't know.
See, but that's once again, just because your hook is nice, this because or someone else can do your hook / write your hook,
Yeah.
and then the other side is like someone else can make the beat. Why is that still a decent song?
Yeah.
Like we really, if we're gonna create new categories for
Like,
music,
we
we
should
also
hold
have
them
to
to
have
more-
a better
yeah, we should
grading
hold them to a higher
scale.
standard, yeah.
Did you
of
guys
what
wait? Sorry, I
nonsense
just
is.
thought of something. Do you guys do your Post Malone homework?
No, I
Or
didn't.
no?
Oh my god, I did not.
No? Okay. Just wondering.
I would pull it up right now. Actually,
No,
Do we
no,
have
no,
Wi-Fi?
no, no.
I'll
We have to
find
get to the
track.
shallow video deep, you know? Next
yeah,
time, next time,
Yeah,
next time.
yeah. I was just wondering because I listened to a couple Post Malone songs this week and
Are you
I
still
still haven't
singing?
heard no rapping.
I'm gonna send you some. I'm gonna send you some after this.
Where
My
he's
bad.
rapping.
Yeah, 100%. I'll find some. Off the
Rapping.
mixtape, I can 100%. He has a track with 2 Chainz. I swear he's rapping off that.
No, 2 Chainz might be rapping.
I swear he's rapping, bro. I swear.
All right. Well, let's get to our guest because we've rambled enough. We can also agree that Kanye's album was trash. Whether
We didn't even
Jalen-
ask Jalen about his week or not anymore.
Oh yeah.
Look at the
'Cause
switch up. Just because we got cameras on us, we forgot
We
the
got
fucking
cameras and
Oh
a
my
guest.
gosh.
No longer care about Jalen's
Not
week.
at all.
But how
Wow.
was your week, Jalen?
It was all right. You know, it's stressful. Always got stuff to do. I had a performance review.
Did you
Whoa.
learn? Did you learn
Yeah.
what was the thing you didn't remember the other day?
What was that?
Proactive. You know what proactive means now?
No, I knew what a proactive meant. But you're just saying like, yo, you don't do that.
You didn't know what proactive meant.
Yeah, I did.
How are you proactive at work?
Yo, like if I have to do a task, I'll do it ahead of time.
There we
And
go.
then, yeah.
There we go. He's learning.
But the
What are you
redundancy,
learning?
how do you
That's
know the
crazy.
task is? How do you wait before you're given a task? You know.
No,
what the
like-
task is?
He goes above and beyond so that
Yeah.
when someone asks him, "Hey, did you do this?" He says, yeah, I already got that done."
Oh
Yeah.
shit! You
Yeah.
do that?
I have
No.
to. Like,
No, he does not. But he wants to put it on his resume, so let him.
Wait, the performance review. The person
Yeah,
that
let's talk
reviewed
about
said
the
that?
performance review.
oh,
Yeah,
no,
how'd that
performance
go?
review
Yeah, what'd they
actually
say?
went well. Like,
Yeah.
everything was.
You were not a
excellent and up the park.
statistic.
I don't care about the good stuff. Give me the bad stuff. What they say you could work on.
No,
I
nothing.
care about the good stuff.
That's not true.
I'm not joking. She said like
That's not true.
She said if there was any issue or anything that you need to work on or any improvement, I would have came to you right away. I
So
was
then why
like,
don't you give you a raise?
Where's that raise then?
Yeah, tell her if I'm perfect, I
probation
need
is
more
off
money.
then.
I need perfect
oh,
money.
I know I'm still in probation.
Oh shit! How long?
Yeah.
3 months?
No, end of June.
Well, no,
Oh,
yeah,
bless.
it's 3 months, so like the entire
Yeah, yeah,
period.
yeah.
Oh, okay. True.
Yeah. But wait, sorry.
I'm just saying.
Rory
Yeah, was
wants
that
to know all the nice things
Is that
they said about you.
stressful for the performance review for you?
Yeah, low key it was. To be
Yeah.
honest, because I didn't know how I felt. Like I had to grade myself, and I grade myself.
I
pretty
like
bad.
that at the beginning because then you actually get like a chance to talk about you
Yeah.
before they kind of tell you everything about you.
Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
Wait, did you grade yourself worse because you're
Yeah.
trying to look modest?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so yeah. It's hard to do.
But you're in. This is the
Yo,
league now. This is.
We've
You know
been
the
friends
lights
for
are
too
on.
long.
This is when
We've been
you-
friends for too long. I knew the way you said it. I'm like, this man did it on purpose. He's like 8, 7.5.
Right.
Oh, it's so hard because you can't be in. You can't. It's like you can't go above because then they think.
Yeah,
you're like
because then they think you're just like, oh, like
And it's like, oh, he has
straight
nothing to
tens.
improve on. He's been here for 2 months, and he, you know.
Yeah.
Wait. So is that a
Yeah.
perception that we put on ourselves, or is that something that is actual or factual?
I think it's like anything, right?
think it's like strategic.
Yeah, if you like,
Strategic.
if I ask you like, hey, how do you feel your work has been, and you say 7, I'm gonna or like 6, I'm gonna be like, oh, wow, I wasn't like, and I was thinking, let's say I was thinking 8 or 9,
Yeah.
right, and you said 6, I'd be like, what do you mean like 6? Like, look at all the great things you've done.
Right.
If I'm thinking 8 or 9 and you go definitely 10, I'd be like, wait, hold on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's a perception thing as to like if they think you're a 10 and you say 10, then you're good. But
Right.
it's like, do you want to take that gamble or you do want
Yeah.
to set it down a little bit so that they can feel like, okay, he thinks he's, you know, he's cool about it and he's not.
But then wouldn't the flip side be like, say you had an orange that was like not fully juiced, right? So you're saying I'm at a 6, but they think that you're at a 10, so they're like, all right, so you're putting 6 effort.
That's what I was scared of.
I think you're higher.
That's what I
so
was scared
give me
of.
more. If this is a 6 to you, then what is an 8 to you?
Right.
And then
Right.
you're just like, well, it was
no,
actually an 8 to me, and I
completely
was just
true.
actually
That's what I was scared
bullshit.
of too, because like
Yeah.
if I like gave myself like worse off, right?
Yeah.
I was afraid that she's gonna look at it and be like, oh, so
you're not giving effort.
Yeah,
I
that's the
didn't
thing.
think about that. I didn't think
I was scared of that
Yeah.
too. I was scared of
Yeah,
that
That's
too.
interesting. I would never thought it like.
You know
that.
what? I feel like there's a way of getting around it though. Like rather than focusing on what you do, I do this in job interviews where they're like, oh, so what do you like? What have you done really well? And then it's like, fuck, like now I have to talk about what I did well. Like
Right.
you're in the same trap.
Yeah.
But you talk about what was good for the client, or you talk about what was good for the bottom line, and you
okay.
talk about what mattered
Yeah.
to you to get around it. So like not like you'd say, oh, but the numbers are so hard, but being like, oh, I had, this person had a positive experience, so I'd say they had an 8 experience or whatever, so that it's like getting around
I
it
see what you're saying. That
because it's
makes
not
sense.
about you, it's about the impact.
We're learning here today. Kanye,
Cool, yeah.
Yash,
But
and,
no, I was scared of that.
how to do a
Like, I
job
was,
interview.
I was scared that if I put myself too low, they'd be like,
Yeah.
so you're not doing your job properly? And then if I do too high, then they're like, you don't have anything to prove on? Like, so.
It's a trap.
Yeah, it's one of those ones.
What about just going exactly where you're supposed to? I love how we didn't even put that as an option.
No,
Let me just,
No.
let me just,
Actually be who you're
let me just
trying to
read
be.
her mind and put
Fuck it.
exactly what she
Yeah,
wanted.
Lies.
that's like what we should do in the
Lies go
future.
farther than the truth.
Yeah, we're like, which way do you lie? Which way do you lie?
Okay, so let's start our main topic for this episode. I want to start by not to put you on the spot, Rory, but like
Too late.
the sense of like tell us kind of more about what you do, your background, kind of things like that. Tell us
Yeah.
a little, like give the listeners a little bit about yourself. Obviously, I know you, but even I could probably learn something from it.
Well, I am in youth mental health, so I work with youth all the time, and I'm at the front desk of a youth mental health walk-in. So my main role is to make people feel comfortable, and I think this game actually does a lot of that. But
Yeah.
basically, like people are coming in being vulnerable, being brave. They're talking about the most intense stuff with people, so I get to be that first person they see welcoming them.
Yeah.
And then I facilitate basically a therapy skills group
Cool,
for some
cool.
youth. So like
That is dope.
it's really cool. So I mean I think the
not
main
expecting that at all.
to tie it into what we're talking about today, the main
Yeah.
thing is like one of my favorite skills is making people feel comfortable talking about what's most important.
Okay.
Like when they're being vulnerable, being brave. So in that group, like people are like about to talk about like struggles. So you need to make them feel comfortable, make it feel like that's okay, that we're not judging them. And so this game was actually created in the context of youth mental health, where, if you ask a youth one day, like, hey, what are your hopes and dreams? They'll be like, oh, bye, and just leave. Because like, no thanks, especially if they're surrounded by their peers. Like
Yeah.
most vulnerable thing ever.
Yeah.
So and if it's a guy, they'll make a joke, and some people will just shut down the conversation. So what we did was create this game to get around it.
Yeah.
So it's shallow, medium, deep. The way it works is you basically choose a category, shallow, medium, or deep, and then it's a random question from that category. So shallow is like basic questions about like things you care about, but nothing really like too intense. So just like, I don't know, like what'd you have for lunch today? Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Medium is a little bit more intense. Deep is like more vulnerable stuff.
Yeah.
And so what we found, we played this game like a number of times, and people kept picking deep. They were like deep, and people were like, yeah, pick deep. And then they got this question, like, let me just take one. Let's do, what character trait are you currently trying to improve? And so you get this youth in front of all their friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or not even their friends, like their peers. Like
Yeah.
these are the people that they want to impress, and it's what character trait are you currently trying to improve? And they're like, oh, and they think about it, and then they're like, trying to be more honest or whatever.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
everyone's like, wow, and then we're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like for some reason the game just gets around like you're forced to do it, and you chose, and so like it's really cool.
Yeah. Well, I'd say like when we were kind of just thinking of different ideas and stuff to do, and this is one of the first things that come up because for some reason I love this game. I don't know. I'm just one of those people who likes to get really deep. Like if I
With
could,
strangers.
yeah, like,
Yeah.
No, but honestly,
2 beers,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Honest.
Like I'm always been
Yeah.
like pretty much an open book about a lot of things, and I just will always remember the first time playing this game. I think Jalen was there, maybe not. We were all around the
Yeah, I
table.
was there
I
one
think he
time.
was there too. There was a bunch of us. I can't remember exactly who was there, but a lot of high school.
There were candles in a
Yeah.
backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah. it was like-
No, I played it before then.
Okay, never mind. There were
it
not
before that.
candles.
That's-
There
I
was no
went to-
backyard.
That was
one
your
outside.
first time?
Yeah.
I think that was my first
Okay,
time.
so maybe I played it with like Marlon
Let's
or
all discover
something.
first
It was at a house party you had inside. We weren't outside.
Okay,
and,
never mind.
But the
This is a
envelopes were
Christmas
like
time.
sitting. So you have an Excel spreadsheet now, which is amazing. I love it. But at the time, it was just like envelopes with the shallow questions, medium, and deep. And literally imagine this: we're all sitting around the table, we're talking, whatever, and there's just 3 envelopes. no one in the room knows why they're there.
Yeah.
And one says shallow, one says medium, one says deep. And everyone's just kind of sitting there, we're talking, and I'm looking at these things, and for some reason they were just like burning me. Like I'm like, I need to know why these are sitting there and why they say this. So me being me, I like open the shallow one. And
I love that you started with shallow.
Yeah, I open the shallow one and I like
Just
look
in
in
case.
and there's a question. And I'm like, oh, I read the question. And then someone across from me, maybe Marlon or something, is like, "Oh, what is that?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's a question." And he's like, "Well, what's the question?" And whatever I said the question, and we both went, "That's interesting." We answered it, and then other people around the table were just like, "Oh, what are you guys doing?" I'm like, I don't know, answering the question in this magic envelope.
That's
Like,
hilarious.
yeah, so we ended up started going.
Where the hell
around,
was
and
I?
well, there was a lot of people at this one. It was
Yeah.
a shaker.
Was it
Like,
was it
there
a winter?
It was in the
shit.
winter.
Yeah,
It was
no,
in the winter.
Yeah, I would've been
okay,
there.
I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I would have been there then.
So you were everywhere. It wasn't just like a couple of us. So like it was, but I remember just having like a really good time. And so whenever I always think about like cool things to do, this has always been one of the first things I think of on like, wow, like this is amazing. And like the fact that someone I know created this, I'm
Yeah.
like, it's great. It's just like so cool.
And shout out to Lily, a longtime listener of the podcast. She's the one that sparked the idea that eventually turned into getting Rory onto here. So
Oh yeah,
thanks for
yes,
that.
yeah,
Totally
for sure.
Totally forgot to
Yeah,
say that earlier.
yeah, of course.
Bless.
So cool.
Cool.
Shall we
Yeah,
start?
this game's
Let's
What is
play
it?
the game.
So from the way I've always played, but I don't know because
There's a lot of ways to play.
We played a different version of a similar game the other day, and it kind of made me think, okay, have we been doing shallow, medium, deep different? But how I used to do it, or at least from remember, is like everyone goes around and answers the question.
I think let's do that because that's
Okay,
fun.
okay.
Yeah, the bigger the group. I mean, basically, you pick a question and you answer it, and then everyone else has a chance to answer it if they want.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
And I always like to set some conventions, but like, I mean, you guys know each other well.
Convent away because
Conventions are nice.
If you don't give us rules,
Oh, no.
this is gonna go left.
So
We're gonna
yeah,
start talking
yeah.
about the fact that Jalen's gonna lose in basketball.
Don't hurt each other's, okay, no, so the actual conventions, okay, what do we do? Never pressure people to share. You know what? Sometimes you pressure people to share and that's fine, but I don't know. I always say never pressure people to share because sometimes like there's actually something more intense than you might expect and they're not ready to talk about that, especially because like, I don't know, there's cameras.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck it. Nah.
So at the same time, like, I
Rip
mean,
that Band-Aid off.
up to you guys. But,
Nah, dude, this
and
this
then
game's too real.
the more important one is celebrate people for sharing because like
Okay.
so for me the biggest phrase in my life is accept, encourage, and reward vulnerability. So when someone's being like when someone's talking about something that's important to them,
Yeah.
we give them space and then afterwards we're like thank you,
For sure.
because that's an honor to receive that, like to get to hear something
Thank you for being
important
on- Thank you for being on the
Yeah.
podcast.
That's great. I'm really loving this.
and then share the space.
Yeah.
Because like we all have a tendency, I think a lot of us have a tendency to take up all the space in the world, and like as men too, you kind of like learn to do it.
Yeah.
So if you're somebody who takes up a lot of space, take up a little less. If you're somebody who doesn't speak a lot, speak a little more. And that's what I like. That's to balance it out. I'm looking at Jalen. I don't know if that's you.
You're looking at the right people. He looked at me like, if you speak a lot, speak a little less.
Yeah.
Jalen,
Like-
if you speak a little, speak a little more.
And Jalen, talk more. No, I don't know. I don't actually think that's true.
You know, the other thing that
yeah.
I thought
Spot on.
was interesting when we played the other game was the joke thing you said. I don't want to mess up the phrasing of it, but basically you're
Yeah.
saying something. Yeah.
Well, okay. So the other piece is read the room. So there's shallow, there's medium, there's deep. Sometimes you want to be shallow. Sometimes you want to be medium. Sometimes you want to be deep. And silence gets you deep, and jokes bring you up to shallow. So like if you're ever feeling, you notice this, a lot of us make jokes when they're a little uncomfortable,
100%.
right? Like
Defense
you're like
mechanism all the way up.
totally like you're feeling a little uncomfortable. Someone asks something or says something really intense, and then you make a joke.
Right.
And it's like this impulse. You're coming up with jokes as a way to relieve tension.
Yeah.
So what I like to say is just like be aware of it, and you're welcome to do it because you're great. Like,
Yeah.
but do it, but be aware of what you're doing.
Gotcha.
Right?
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God, this is real.
isn't that cool?
This is amazing,
right?
man.
Yeah.
I'm not ready for these deep questions.
I
Y'all have been
know.
through some deep ones. I'm gonna
Hey,
be like, yo.
yeah. I hope we get there. I don't know how long we have, but I hope we get to deep.
Well, you know what? We're just about to touch half an hour.
Oh, blessed.
And
Right.
usually we do about 60 minutes. Usually last week's episode was literally an
Yeah,
hour and a
hour and a
half.
half.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So it gets long. My
good, it was
thing would
good.
be, let's just play the game, however we see fit. We'll try our best to get to deep. I mean, I'm ready for deep, but like we need to get there. I know mentally it's fun to just jump into it, but it's better to like kind of get there.
Right.
And if we have any boring, like
you
not
can't
boring,
fake it.
but if we have any, answers that we don't like or is kind of different, it's a podcast. There's a post, so we could always chop ones out, put ones in.
Yeah.
So just go until like we get to deep maybe, and then we'll see which ones we like, which ones we don't like. But yeah, we could literally go for 2 hours. Whoever sticks around for 2 hours sticks around for 2 hours.
Cool.
Right, cool.
Well, yeah. I mean, like, let's just have fun.
Yeah,
Because
for
this
sure.
game's really fun.
Yeah.
So cool.
Oh man,
Right? Okay.
it's
Cool.
like a roller coaster, right? You're like,
All right, Marcel.
Yeah.
Shallow, medium, or deep?
Let's go shallow. Let's start things
Okay.
off light. Treading water.
Have you ever gotten a weird haircut?
Ooh, yo. Honestly, my haircuts until the 9th grade were all weird. My mom refused to take me to a barber. So my mom, okay, so it was rough. I swear, I should take a picture of my grade 9 ID when I first got to Northern. So I think it was, and that's another thing too. Northern, I think, was like when I first met, like, there were black people at Jesse, but the Northern was just like boom. So then everyone's lineups were straight and mine were not. So my mom, honestly, when I was like young, she just picked up a razor or like a fucking hair trimmer, and she was just like, "Nah, I'm gonna do it. I'm not gonna pay $10 for this." And then no one said no. And then she just hacked at it until we got to Platinum. Shout out to Platinum. They cut my hair for a
Bang,
bit,
bang.
and then they messed up my lineup, and then I grew
was
up my
it.
hair for 4 years, and then I cut it literally a month ago. I
Wow.
had a giant afro before.
Yeah,
that. So
yeah.
yeah, hella long story for a shallow, but yes, most of my life my hair was weird.
shout out to Marcel's hair. I missed that.
Yo,
Oh.
no.
Yeah.
Damn. I wish that could have been like hitting me.
Yeah,
It
it
was
would
so nice and soft. I'm sorry.
yeah,
it
it's
was
a
big.
disservice what I'm doing to the world.
That's crazy.
Anyone else?
Should
Should we establish a order? Like, should we?
I mean, we
Go
can just,
around.
whatever. We'll just go
okay.
this way. I definitely had a weird haircut. Maybe like last year, April-ish. I don't know if I literally got it cut within a week, so no one really noticed. I saw this style and I wanted to like kind of dread my hair / use the sponge, but it was like longer in the front than the back. So it kind of had like a slope, but it was because like you had like little dreads kind of in the front. So I showed a picture to my barber, bless his soul, he tried his best. I thought it was fine. Like it didn't really bother me that much, but then every single person in my life made fun of me for it.
God.
And like I actually do have a picture which I should show you guys later, but it just the way it looked from the side, it literally looked like I had like it was just slope. It was strange.
Wait,
Yeah.
bunny hill or like double like diamond? Like what did it look
No,
like?
it was good. Like it was up. Like
Yeah.
it was long still. And they kind of cut it so that would stay longer, and hoping that like once I dreaded it, and I just never got I never got permission. So
Damn.
yeah.
It's one of them ones. Go
Yeah.
got you on lock and key.
Yeah. So I definitely had a weird haircut. It didn't last long. I sort of liked it. Like I kind of liked it underneath, but everyone just kept ripping on it. So I was like, I can't.
Yeah, and then you have this choice like, oh man, like I don't give a shit what people think,
Yeah.
but you do.
There's only so much you can take.
Yeah, and you should, but I mean, yeah, it's tough. It's both.
Okay, so yeah, my turn. I've had messed up lineups or weird, or like I wouldn't say weird haircuts. I'll say one story, but yeah, I've had.
Didn't
messed
I
up
cut your
lineups
hair
with
once?
guys. Yeah, but that wasn't the worst one.
Hey.
Even my mom looked at it. She's like, "Oh, you got a haircut." You know, like so it passed the test. So you know,
Nice.
yeah, I remember.
I
you
just
saying about
remembered that. I was like,
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
'Cause when
That's
you
not
were
the
talking
best
about
thing to hear though.
Clippers-
Oh, you got a haircut, like not like nice haircut.
Yeah,
That's different.
It's not bad. It's just not good.
like, but it passed the test. Like,
Yeah.
she didn't think
Yeah.
anything of it, right? She's like, "Oh,
Right.
good haircut, right?"
Nice, nice.
But I'll say, I guess one haircut was when I was growing my hair, and I was trying to do like the sides. You can't see it right now because like I haven't not gotten my hair done in a long time.
I could see it a little.
Yeah, well, like you can see like the fade on the side and everything like that, but it's still like pretty rough right now, my head.
Yeah.
But when I was growing it, and I was trying to do the top and then the sides, I guess the guy cut it too like high up for like the
Shit.
shape of my head. So then, and my hair was like, I don't think it was twisted yet. Oh yeah, actually no, it was twisted head. So like I had like little bumps,
Yeah.
and then also like the little like China bumps or whatever, and then also my hair was shaved up. So then when my mom when I came back from the haircut, my mom was just dying laughing because she's like, "Yo, you look like a 1980s rapper."
Oh shit!
Like I don't know if it was like she said like crisscross or somebody. She said somebody that I looked like.
That's crazy.
Intergenerational burn.
Because like the hairline was too long. Yeah, exactly. You know, like the lineup was too forward.
Yeah.
So it like the way to get my hair perfectly how I like it now, it's been a journey. You know.
Yeah.
But now you got it.
I love your
There you
hair.
go. Yeah. No, it's
I
blessed.
appreciate it. But yeah.
Aye.
Short story. One time I had hair down to my shoulders,
Goodness.
Oh wow.
and that was when I got popular in grade 6. So I thought that it was
was the
because
hair?
of the hair.
Oh.
And then I got a haircut and I cried, and no one saw. No one saw that I cried. I did. It was like, what's that Samson and Delilah story?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like that, but with popularity.
That's messed up.
Yeah,
That's
that's
so
my
funny.
story.
Goodness. Oh.
But I mean, of course you would though. If you feel like there's so much in your like invested.
I
in
really
one
thought that was
thing.
it.
Yeah.
Thought I'd wait a whole.
I mean, I used to rock afros.
Crap, I
and
figured
stuff
out I had a
back
great
in the
personality
day.
and shit. I was just like,
I felt like the afro definitely gave me something too. So
Makes
I
you pop.
understand that. Like it didn't. I didn't think it made me popular, but I definitely like would grow it out because like everyone knew me as the kid with the afro.
and it's like it's an accessory. I feel
Yeah,
like even for
yeah.
men especially, because
Yeah.
like we just usually have a lot shorter hair. So when people do see you with longer hair, they do double takes.
Yeah, I used
for
to have no
sure.
hair before. You know.
Exactly.
cool.
Yeah, nah,
It's-
for sure.
Yeah, for real.
Alright.
All right, Quincy, your turn. Shallow, medium,
it up.
deep.
Shallow it up.
What's something that makes you smile?
Ooh. Huh, that's interesting. I'd say something that makes me smile would definitely be like, I don't know. It's funny because I smile all the time, but I don't know why. I think honestly, it's just like seeing other people like having a good time. I'd say that's something that like shallow wise would always make me smile. Just like I enjoy like feeding off the energy of other people, and like seeing people enjoying themselves is always like a good thing for me. I think it's something I put a lot of like pressure on anyways to like make sure everyone's included and
Yeah.
enjoying the moment. So I definitely get a cheap smile out of like just seeing like a group of people enjoying themselves for sure.
Damn, I don't know. You know what? Since he did the sentimental nice one, I'll do the scummy one. You know what makes me smile? When people look like they're up to no good. You know? They're always
mischievous.
when they're always looking sketchy, or they just come in grinning, or
Yeah.
Like they just did something they shouldn't have
yeah,
done.
like you know, like I just start dying because I'm like, yo, what did you do? Like, why? You look,
I love that.
And like they could easily be like, oh, nothing. I haven't done anything yet, which
Yeah.
is like might be true, right?
Yeah.
But also, you know, like
You
it just,
cooking something.
yeah, you look suspect, you know.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll say
Something
that
about you
was
does
just
not make sense.
Yeah.
I like that.
Oh,
one.
I love that. Oh man, like for me, my immediate thought was a baby. Like I don't see babies a lot in my life right now, and none of my relatives are babies currently.
Get on that
They
shit.
were. Oh.
Yeah, make it happen.
But
Cash.
holy shit, every time I see a baby, I'm like completely overjoyed. Yeah.
It's an amazing feeling. I
Yeah,
love
have you ever
that
seen
as
an
well.
ugly baby though?
No such thing.
Okay, good.
Yeah. You ever seen an ugly mother? No, because all mothers are amazing. They're putting in mad work.
So
Reach? Was that a reach? I was thinking about this the other day, where I was just like, aren't all mothers just like amazing? That's too much of a stretch.
I'm not disputing that part of the sentence. That's a good part of the sentence. I'm agreeing with that. I'm agreeing with that. I agree with that.
Now I was gonna say I just love babies because they're always discovering. They're just like at awe. They're just like at awe with life. They're just kind of like,
That's a
well,
good
what the
point.
fuck? This is cool.
Yeah.
I was gonna say red velvet cupcakes. I've not had a bad red velvet cupcake.
That's hilarious.
yeah.
So you just see one and smile?
Yeah, I see one every time
Like
because I
eat
know
one.
because it's 10 for 10.
Yes.
It's 10 for 10. I'm gonna
You
be
know
satisfied
what,
by
you
it.
know it's just chocolate with red dye.
Don't ever lie to
Okay.
yourself.
What do you mean don't lie to myself?
There's cream
Why
cheese
would you
icing in there sometimes.
Thank you.
There's what?
There's cream cheese icing
Right in the
there.
middle.
Right in the middle. It's really good. Is it
You're
not?
going- you're
Is
going
it
to
really
Timmy
just
for your
chocolate
red
with?
velvet?
I do. They have a
dye?
great
Red velvet is just chocolate cake with red dye.
Just because the
You tell
internet
the
tells you
truth.
shit, Quincy, doesn't mean you're probably one of those people like the Earth is round.
Yo,
It's clearly flat,
I'll
bro.
call Vanessa right now on the podcast.
So she can lie to me too.
all right.
Doesn't matter. Like it doesn't.
She's a baker. She works at one of the biggest bakeries in Toronto. We'll
pretend
move
for
on.
us.
That's all lie. No, I'm joking.
Safe space, Quincy. I thought it was a safe space.
I'm
I don't
just
need you to be
helping you.
ridiculing me based off
listen,
my red.
red dye number 4 is terrible for you,
Oh my gosh.
and they love it in red velvet.
keep it to yourself.
All right. Well, I'm sorry. Safe space.
Okay,
Cancer,
yeah.
Come on, cancer. Bring it.
All right, Jalen,
No, I
what's
didn't
up?
say it was a
Shallow medium.
carcinogen.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep the trend going and do shallow.
I thought you were
Shallow.
gonna bring us there.
I was going to, but I was like, nah.
Bring us to the promised
If
land.
you could write anything on the moon, what would you write?
My name, I think. That's like.
First name, last name, or just
you know
first
what
name?
kids do when they get anything? They write their name on it. Like,
It's mine.
my name. That's amazing.
Wait, first and last?
Jalen.
Sure.
Jalen.
I feel like
Yeah, maybe
Jalen would be
Jalen.
cool
Oh,
because
that's
then you
funny.
could just reunite with like audio to Jalen.
Exactly.
You're like, I did this for us.
And you could start a Twitter hashtag.
Do you imagine that,
Jalen
like,
on the moon?
visible from
All these
Earth,
Jalen's
too?
would retweet
Yeah, I was
it.
thinking maybe like a cursive.
I imagine it
cursive.
visible from Earth. I imagine like humongous.
Yes, it
like,
has to be.
yeah.
It has to be
Yeah.
visible to Earth.
Well, like I'm just thinking like, what else would I write? You know, and then because if I put my name on it,
Anything
I own it. Like
It's kind of a huge prank, yeah. Like, like it's really just prank city. What would
that
you
was
write?
the first thing that came to my head. So yeah.
I like
You'd be
that
put in
answer.
textbooks. Imagine that. It was just like the moon. It says Jalen on it.
Oh
That'd be
wow,
dope
they have
as
to
hell.
rewrite textbooks.
They would.
Gosh, history. This guy's talking about history. Right?
That's true.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You know,
I think that's the best answer yet. I'm gonna move on to medium.
Yeah, I don't know how to beat that moon. Right? Moon on the moon. Like I don't know.
Label it.
Yeah. I don't. I'm trying to think of like what could you like literally
I know.
just
I
write
couldn't think of
moon.
anything else. I couldn't think of anything.
Like that's it.
All right.
Jalen Moon. All right, medium. Let's go.
All right, medium. I'm taking a breath in. Have you ever had an interesting experience in the middle of nowhere?
Huh.
I like to take a breath in and breath out to take me a little bit more medium. Okay. I find like out in the middle of nowhere, there's like this one, I went to camp once and I was a counselor there. And there was this phrase they said, everyone, especially women, go outside and walk around because this is like a safe campgrounds. And you kind of take that for granted that you can like walk late at night. Like, have you ever walked up Yonge Street at like 2 a.m?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like that's really, there's something really special about that sometimes.
Yeah.
And
Depends on which side of like where on Young
yeah,
Street.
I mean,
that's the same,
it's
like-
scary.
Up here is all right.
Yeah.
Downtown.
It can be scary. Like,
same.
it's
You win for that 97.
yeah, I wouldn't say Yonge Street. Actually, anywhere, but just walking really late at night. Like it's in the city, in the country, whatever. But like a lot of people don't get to do that, so they talked about that and they said everyone try it out and just remember that it's a privilege to do that. So for me, I did try it out and I just like decided, okay, I'm just gonna walk and just like, and I've done it before and it's lovely, like just being completely alone and out there. And so that was for me the moment I think was thinking about how like it's also like something we don't get to do is feel safe all the time. I'm lucky I get to feel safe out there, so that's what I would say.
I don't get to nowhere often. The only place I can remember is like Runyon Canyon was pretty dope because so it's just
That was funny.
because okay, so I'm petrified of heights, but I didn't and like it's a Runyon Canyon. It means down, right? So I was just like, okay, I could probably go down. I can go back up, I guess. But then no, this is because you go up, and I was just like, this doesn't make any sense. So we're in the middle of nowhere. So it's me, Marlon, Jake. Yeah, okay. So there's like 5 of us out there, right? So everyone else is clearly capable of climbing up and climbing down, but I am literally, so the up was not that bad because you can keep on going footholds up, and then it's the down. So obviously I can rationalize I can't go down, like I'm not going to fall because I'm not going to be leaping like Mario off this thing. I just need to make some steps down, right? But I'm always in my head, I'm just like, yeah, but you can slip and you could die. So I was just like, okay, I can't shake this. So literally I was just like on my butt, just like scrapping down or whatever. To bring this up, at one point, on our way up, I had my phone on. No, I think Quincy had his phone on him, and he was like, "Yo, play higher off of My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy."
Yeah.
And then it was just like, so when you said that, the moment of just like walking up there and literally the words going, "Can we get much higher?" And I'm like, "Yes, we can." There's actually more of this. And
Yeah.
I didn't expect more to be there, but there is. We can go much higher.
I like
so I think
that.
that was my nowhere.
That one, yeah, that was funny. I remember. I don't know if I actually put in a song or if I just wrote it out, but like. I remember looking at you and like something that I said to you that resonated with myself was like, how could you be scared of heights when your feet are on the ground?
Ooh.
I don't know. It was just something that like metaphorically was like, wow, this
Yeah.
could be huge. So I think I used it, but I don't know. But I definitely remember looking at you and be like, I know you're scared of heights, but man, like we're like we're on the ground. Like technically, our feet are touching ground. So how are you,
it makes no sense.
But I mean, if you look out and you see how high you are compared to other things, obviously it's different. But yeah, that was not
my greatest moment.
Can I ask a follow-up? What helped you get through that? Like, did the song work?
sheer peer pressure.
Everyone else was already at the bottom and looking at me, and I was like, well, I gotta screw these pants. I was just literally like, as a child would crawl on their butt. Like,
I want to say like 3 of us literally sprinted down.
And they're in flip-flops and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, these guys are just made for that.
I wasn't in flip-flops. I had closed-toe shoes. But some of the other people did. But I literally I was like
hopping
parkouring
around.
down it. And we got to the bottom. Like, I was like full-out sprinting, hopping from one side to the other. We got to the bottom, and then we just see Marcel like, scoot.
Yeah.
Like, literally just like that. And we're like, Marcel, man, anytime.
Anytime now. I was like, oh.
That's interesting.
I'd say for me, to answer that question, would be when I did Outward Bound in between grade 11 and grade 12. Part of the Outward Bound course, a lot of them, sometimes it's shorter, sometimes it's longer. Ours was 72 hours by yourself. And like I was in on the Pacific Ocean in Vancouver Island, like in the middle of nowhere, it felt like, for real. And I remember like before we got like sent out, they were like picking places to put people. And one of the instructors was like, who wants the hardest spot? And I was like, me being the type of guy I am, like, I always get myself in trouble all the time for this, but being a smart ass, I'm like, well, I'll take it, right? Like, whatever. So long story short, everyone gets their spot. He saves me for last. He comes and picks me up. We start kayaking. He's like, all right, here's your spot. And I'm like, where? Like, literally on the middle of the ocean. He's like, that island right there. All I see is like a rock. And on top of the rock is like a makeshift shelter. I'm like, what do you mean, the rock? Like,
whoa.
He's like, the last guy built that shelter there. It's kind of damaged, but you can get twigs. And it was kind of like a bigger island, but with all these trees. Not big, but like bigger, and then this rock. And I guess the guy went over there and grabbed all these twigs and stuff. And I was like, well, okay, I asked for the hardest one. Like, I'm going to figure this out. And it was kind of funny. So he drops me off. I have like my little pack of food for 72 hours, a tarp, and a sleeping bag. That's it. That's all you get. And you got to figure it out. You got to make your shelters, do all this stuff, know how to put the tarp so you don't get rained on, all this weird shit. But I was like bored to shit. So I was walking around this, like the tree island part, and like going around in a circle and a circle and a circle, and like literally just like, I don't know what to do with myself. Like, I know it's only been 30 minutes, but I feel like it's already been a day.
Right.
And I don't know what, like, in the universe or God or whoever told me to, like, well, why don't you try and go under the trees? Right? But for some reason, I kind of started looking, like, under the trees where it looked like you couldn't go through. And there was just, like, this clear path into an open area. So in the middle of this tree, looking like it's covered in all trees, was just empty. Because technically, when the trees are so high, no trees can grow under, like, from inside there, right? So all the big trees are on the outside, and no little trees can start to grow. So it's just this open area. Wow. They came to get me the next day, and like personally, what I learned about myself was like, shit, like, you don't give up. Like, you just keep looking for some way to like do better or figure this out. Like, you may get dealt with a stone, but who knows what's really on the other side. And they literally like couldn't find me. They thought I had gone missing at night or something. And like they're yelling. I was like passed out, enjoying my sleep. Literally, I come out, like I climb out from underneath the trees, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, oh, I'm sleeping.
I'm one with nature.
They're like, what do you mean? I'm like, there's literally a hole in here and like open area. And they literally like started losing it because a kid the trip before literally stayed on that rock for 72 hours through rain.
Thank goodness.
With just his tarp over some sticks. And I'm there chilling like 3 weeks later. Yeah, it was pretty good.
That's
pretty
cool.
fucked up.
I don't know. I was trying to think where, like, I don't really traverse a lot. You know, I don't really travel that much, but I was trying to think. And one thing I thought of was we went to a cottage in the summertime. You guys know what I'm talking about. And I would say there, everybody was doing their own thing at the time. Or like, either we'd be in a group or everybody would be off doing their own thing. And I think at one point I was just sitting outside on the lawn chair by myself. I didn't know where anybody was, and I was just sitting there, and I was just looking out on the lake and looking at the trees. And I think, like, I just took in the moment that I'm here, and I think like for the first time in a while, like I just felt present.
Yeah.
You know, like I just felt here. I just was being.
I love
You
that
know?
for the first time in a while, because it's like so often we completely forget to pause and like be completely in the moment.
Yeah. And like it just like I felt like my vision just changed like on a dime, like it just in a snap. Like I just was just looking out into the water, and then I don't know, it just like a perspective just changed. Like everything just seemed clearer, and just like I wasn't thinking about the past. I wasn't thinking about what's happening in the future. I was just enjoying the moment. So I'd say that was an interesting experience.
That's
Yeah.
great.
I love that.
Nice.
What
Myself.
up, myself?
Let's deep it up.
All right. Oh,
Goodness. All right.
Marcel, I'm actually really curious about this because I don't know you that well. Describe one of the moments that made you who you are today.
Wow.
And you can go. I mean, that's what I like about these. You don't have to go to the most intense, but
Yeah.
you can.
If you want.
If I want.
Well, and also, we haven't really
I
been
have.
doing it, but like, thanks for everyone for sharing.
Oh, for
We
sure.
did.
Yeah, I really appreciate
Yeah,
that
yeah,
story.
yeah.
Yeah.
That is really cool. I mean, you don't get that much, but yeah, I just figured I'd throw that out there.
Who I am? That's a good question, because like, who am I today? And then you got to figure out. Okay, cool.
I have another way of asking this too, if you want a different way. But you got it. You
No,
got
no,
one.
yeah, I think I got it. Okay, during my construction days, so it was like more like I worked like every day for like 10 hours a day. So it's usually like when you get back home, after a while, you kind of get used to like the load of it. So your body's not really tired. So I would have like my nights. So on my nights, I would just walk around the block. So in hindsight, I'm just a black dude with a hoodie, so maybe not the greatest idea traversing through these neighborhoods. But I love walking at night, so it's dope. So one of what they allowed me to do is understand how I think and pragmatically just figure out my situations. So, and that's definitely a big part of who I am today. So being able to just like digest what needs to be done, chop it up in my mind, figure out how I'm gonna do it, put it together, and then spit it out. So it kind of those moments.
So who taught you that? That's to figure out who you are, chop it up, digest it in your mind. What was that?
Honestly, I think a lot of things changed. I'm going to shout out to Breakfast Club, because I think there was this one summer where like they just had a bunch of, so Breakfast Club, I think we referenced it before, New York radio show, and they just had like a stream of great guests over the summer. So, and then there were like a lot of motivational speeches and stuff. So I think like the amalgamation of those YouTube videos really taught me that like you can do whatever you want, you just need to think it through and then tackle it the best way that you think you're capable of doing it. Yeah. So then those walks is just like peace and quiet with serenity. It's really great. Maybe that should be my answer for one of the other ones. But yeah, you're just walking through, and then I can just like, all right, cool. So I know what to do for the next day. And then if I have future projects I need to work on, I know what to do with them.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't have a good answer for this right now. Like, I was trying to think of one, but also like really get into your story. So I'm not sure, but I passed him to Jalen if he has.
Oh, okay. I guess so it's a moment, right? So I guess the moment for me would be when I was 5th year in high school, and I think the moment when I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try.
Yo, that's real.
You know?
Yeah.
I think that was when I was like, because like the 4th year was like a throwaway for me. Like I didn't do shit. I didn't take it seriously at all. And I think that's when I think 5th year, like when I was in a new school, I actively put myself in a new situation where I didn't know anybody, like in a new school, to be like, to get your shit together. And I think even then I was still like kind of like chugging through it, you know, just getting through it. But like I think it was like it might have been the first semester near the end is when I decided to like try, because that's when like I started to actually like care about school and actually like get my shit together. That's when I started learning about music and actively like become a producer. And then in the next semester is when I found out about geography and finding out my program for university. And then I actually got to run with that and then go to Rice and everything like that. So I would say probably like that turning point is like this is like the seed for like
for sure,
for
That's
where
huge.
I became today. So
And like I feel like that's actually, you know, that's so simple, but something that there's a lot to overcome.
yeah.
Like especially as a young dude and a young black dude, maybe even I don't know the experience, but like there's a lot of like pressures to not try, because for some reason to be cool is to not try.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can always.
So
yeah,
often that was the
no.
case. Like,
I trust me. That's how I rationalize it. It's like, oh, like I didn't do well in the test because I didn't try. I didn't study. Like, you know, I
I
didn't
still
study.
do that. Like,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
real.
like, I admittedly, like,
Yeah.
I hate
And, like,
that, I hate that I do it, but it's still
in
something
work
that
life,
happens.
in
Yeah.
dating, in
Yeah.
friendships, like in all that stuff, to not try is
Yeah.
kind of to be cool. And then that sets you up for like not being good at things.
Yeah, exactly.
in the
Exactly.
future, like because you have to try. I mean,
Yeah.
it
Well,
sucks.
it's that fear, right? It's that fear that if like you do try and it's not
You
good
fail,
enough,
Yeah.
it's like, oh fuck, like
Yeah, but then you were able to just do it and try and
which
go
is
for it,
huge.
Yeah.
and know that you're like. I mean, that means that it's harder to fail sometimes. Like,
Yeah.
but that's awesome.
But yeah, I think it, you know, I think that's the very beginning. Like I had some setbacks in like university at the beginning, but like that's another turning point. But yeah, I'd say like that fifth year of high school is the beginning.
Cool.
Yeah.
For me, I actually talked about this with Quincy a little bit. Talked about this with Quincy. One of the moments for me was I was in a relationship that was pretty painful, and mostly painful for my partner in that relationship. Like I kind of hurt her a lot, and the whole time it was like, I need to be perfect for this person. I need to make this person's life perfect. And so I would lie to myself the whole way through, saying I love this person and I still want to be with this person, even though I really didn't. And so the relationship it should have ended like 9 months before it ended. And that whole 9 months was me feeling like queasy and her feeling super anxious because she could sense that I was feeling off.
Yeah.
And so there was this kind of moment at the end, like after it ended, there was just this collapse of like, I really hurt this person, and like realizing slowly, just that you like, it's not about pleasing people in the moment. It's about being honest first. Like it helped me reorganize my values. Like I still care so much about like the momentary feelings of people around me. Like we talked about, like we really want everyone to have fun all the time and be happy all the time, but there's things that are slightly more important. So like being fully honest, even when it's really, really fucking hard. Like even when you have to tell someone you're amazing and I don't want to be with you anymore. Yeah. And like, that's the hardest thing to say when you care so much about their momentary feelings and you don't want to see that spike. Like, it's hard. But that's where I think for me, that's where I found out my values. Honesty is above like kindness.
Yeah. I definitely thought of one now. I know I've talked about it like probably beating a dead horse, but it was kind of the after effects of it. So I've talked about it on the podcast before about the moment when I was playing hockey and someone decided that, so kind of, I don't know if Rory's ever heard the story, so I'll just do a quick thing, but basically like hockey, of course, I was the only black guy growing up playing hockey my whole life. And I don't trade it in for the world. My teammates were always great. I never had any problem with my own teammates. They were great to me, and like I love the fact that like I'm now comfortable being the only black person in a room, which actually kind of like brings you farther in life. Like a lot of people, when they only around black people, they get in a room filled with other minorities or other like white people or whatever the situation is, and they kind of don't know how to kind of fit in. And I've never had that issue. But yeah, so the one thing was, I mean, I have this guy. He's on the other team, and he just keeps trying to get under my skin. And it's interesting because I was actually having like the best game of my season that game. And at first it started off with just some shots, and then I wasn't reacting because I've never been someone to really react to like nonsense. Then he started calling me Jerome. Like, hey, Jerome. Hey, Jamal. Hey, Jared. Hey, this. All black people have J names. Huh, you're hilarious. None of them got to me. Ended up scoring like another goal. Then finally we're like, kind of on a change, and I guess he figured, like nothing else is getting this guy, so he just said it. He's like, hey, nigger, right off the gate, turn around, just fucking ripped him like 3 punches, knocked his helmet off. It was like blind rage though, so like I wasn't like in the sense like even thinking about what I did. I just turned around, like threw a couple shots, dropped him, and like literally skated to the door, opened it, and like went in the dressing room myself. No ref escorted me anywhere. I just fucking left. I was like, fuck this shit. Like, it's not worth it. Got to the room, was like crying like uncontrollably, just like freaking out. There was only 2 minutes left in the game, whatever. So like everyone came off, and they ended up telling me like, oh, you didn't even actually get a penalty. Like the ref heard him say it. So the ref was pretty much just like, this guy's gone. Like, you're good. Yeah, like it was crazy. But the moment that really shaped me now was when I got in the car. And my dad didn't know really what happened. All my dad, because in the stands, parents don't really get to hear everything that gets said. And like he didn't really know what happened. He just saw me turn around and just like throw a couple punches at this guy and then like leave the ice. I think he had an idea, but he was just kind of like what happened. So I told him like he was doing all this stuff, and I was like pissed. And then I was like, and then he called me nigger. And my dad kind of looked at me, and I think he realized like, all right, this is the first time someone's used that towards you. You know what I mean? And like obviously my dad being older, that's probably been thrown his way a couple times. Compared to like me, who's like just experiencing this moment where like when someone decided they had nothing else they could call me, this is where they went. And his point to me was basically like, you were having a great game, and 2 minutes, 10 minutes, regardless, you were having a great game, and then you now gave someone the power to ruin that great game for you because they used a stupid word, like because they used a word. And the way he made it seem was not necessarily like, I don't want him to say like make it seem like he was like, oh, the N-word is nothing. But his idea was just like, yo, if this guy can't think of something more clever than calling you names that start with J and then the N-word, like he's obviously not worth your time, kind of thing. And then it just made me like change my perspective on things in the sense where I basically just realized like, yo, people are gonna try, like when you're succeeding at something, people are gonna try and fuck with you or do something to mess you up. And like you just gotta know in yourself, like they're just hating on what the situation is. Like if that guy was a better hockey player than me, he wouldn't need to do that.
Yeah.
But it's clearly that he was lesser than, and then so he feels like he needs to get a leg up by doing that, and like letting someone take you out of like your space just so they feel good. Like you shouldn't ever give anybody that power. And like I learned that day, and I think that shaped me a lot moving forward, where I'm just kind of like, people say shit or things happen, I just kind of just like keep moving. Like it's not worth it. Like even today when someone like randomly was like calling me LeBron or like being like LeBron sucks to me just because I was black, and like all my coworkers are white, and they looked at me kind of like, is he mad? Is he not mad? Like how do we go about this? And I was just laughing because there's like this crazy guy in the street yelling about me being black and LeBron James. Like one, like I'm fucking the size of LeBron James's pinky toe. Like I don't resemble him in any form other than the fact that we're both black. And I'm just like, listen, guys, like it's fine. Like who gives a shit? Like this crazy person on King Street yelled that. Like, don't worry, I'm not hurt. Like let him move on with his life. I'm moving on with mine, kind of thing. So it definitely shaped me a lot. Yeah, we'll go deep again for 800.
Goodness.
Yeah, you want to go deep?
Yeah,
that was, dude. That's an awesome story.
Was that immediate? That was immediate or deep?
That was deep.
That was deep.
Oh,
That was deep.
damn.
That was deep. That was good. I like that. That was fucking great stories. Damn. Okay, yeah. Do you want to go deep?
Yeah, let's do it. We're at 61 minutes now, just so we all know. But yeah.
Okay.
What is your relationship like with?
Wait, whoa.
What is your relationship like with yourself?
With myself?
Yeah.
Who comes up with these questions?
Okay.
Me.
Yeah. Rory, you want to talk about this? No. Okay.
You know, I like to when people ask you what's your relationship like with your dad, or what's your relationship like with your younger brother or with your partner. Like if you think about it that way.
In a joking, to get the joke off, my relationship with myself right now, I feel like it's a work in progress. We talked about it on last week's podcast, but I went to a bachelor party, lest we forget, and like I abused my liver. So like my liver and I's relationship has been pretty bad. We're looking at like couples retreats right now, just to like really get on the same page and find that love for each other again.
Less is more.
But you know, like it knows deep down that I appreciate it and love it. It's just that like I wanted to like lose myself for a couple days. So we're trying to figure it out. But in all seriousness, I'd say my relationship with myself is like has improved a lot. Not necessarily that I've fixed any of my qualms or issues or like things that I feel like I could work on, but more so the fact that I'm realizing the things I can work on. So maybe it's like relationships. So I'm like, we were talking about we kind of touched on it, but not in a way that anyone put a phrase on it. But I'd say like I'm very much a safe mode person. So like for me, when I'm doing something, I love to get to a point. So if I want to become better at using soft synths in music production, I will go crazy trying to figure out how to do these things, look at tutorial videos, mess around with it myself. And then once I can figure out how to do something, I kind of just go, okay, I could do it. And then I stop. And what I realize is that's like my safe mode thing. Or when something goes bad. So like say my relationship has been going great and like we have one fight, I go into safe mode. And it kind of becomes this thing where like I don't want to invest any more time into this for the fear that it won't work out. Or like it's safer for me to close myself off from a situation than it is to open myself up again to then feel like I'm making something worse kind of thing. But it's like these little things like that where like...
It's like
wow.
you retreat.
Yeah, but it's these little things where I'm like, I realize that's what I'm doing now. Before I didn't realize it was a thing. So like with hockey, after that season, I got cut from the team I was on. And yeah, that sucked. Like it was terrible. But I was like happy that I got to like make it to that level of hockey. And then I started trying out the other teams. I was doing great in a tryout. And like some dude I had literally just deked out the like play before, runs me from behind, breaks my wrist. And like I'm like gutted, like just like wow, like I was like literally a play before this I thought I was making another AA team, and then now I can't even finish the tryouts.
Yeah.
And like I just remember feeling like, well, like I don't want to play this sport anymore kind of thing. And like my dad, bless his soul, was basically like, if you don't do dry land training this summer, you can't go back. And I just remember being like, well, I don't even want to do that. Like, I don't even care. Like, I'll just go back to select. Like, it's
Safe mode,
right? And it's like, this is when I was 16, 17, so I have no clue. I just think it's me being an idiot. Like, me just being like, I don't even care. Like, I'm not that good at hockey. But really, it was just me being like, I don't want to open myself up to trying again to be cut in a year kind of thing. And, like, I realize those things now. So I think, like, my relationship with myself has been good and is getting better and improving because I'm realizing my downfalls, or I'm realizing the things I want to work on. Not necessarily downfalls. I don't want to say they're all negative, but I'm realizing like, shit, I can work on these things because I know these things are there.
Right.
So,
oh man. So it's like,
yeah.
and like, I think it's beautiful that you're like, one of my things is that I go into safe mode when when something doesn't go my way.
Yeah.
It's hard to be able to say that's an issue without now saying, and now I need to work on it like all the time. But also that's so important to be able to say this is an issue and I can work on it later or whatever, because like you can't work on all these things all the time. Exactly. But it's also important not to lie to yourself.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of us do safe mode. That's so relatable.
Crazy.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Oh shoot, yeah, my turn.
I love it.
This is a hard
It is a tough
question.
question.
This is a
Yeah,
deep one.
I've been like listening to the story and accepting it, but and appreciating it. But I was trying to think of what my relationship with myself is, and I was thinking at first like, oh, it's great, like like what I love myself, like I think my premeditated term, but no, I'm not going back again.
It's like then I heard the story and I don't feel that way no more.
But then I was thinking to myself, maybe I fight with myself a lot.
Oh, that's huge.
Because I know what's best for myself, but I don't do what's best for myself. Like I'll make decisions or do things, and it's like you know better. Like my inner self would be like, come on, really, we're doing this again,
Oh yeah.
And it's still kind of like maybe it'll be different, maybe this, maybe that, and it's toxic, and it's like it shouldn't be, and I guess I'm still trying to figure myself out too. So I think maybe it's a toxic, but like but it can be like really bright times as well.
I feel like that voice that you have, that second voice of like, really, are you doing this? Like that's not like patronizing. It's not judgmental. It's kind of like, what is that? Is that like an older brother? Like,
yeah, I don't know.
What is that voice?
Just like a wiser.
It's kind of like
version.
Look at what you're doing. But it's like, I don't know. I'd hang out with that person.
Yeah.
Because I'm just trying to think. Like I'm just thinking of like recent things I've done, and it's like, luckily I've grown and accomplished things that I've set out to do, so that's really great, and then great way to pat yourself on the back. But also like certain other things, and like I don't want to get into, but like certain other things that I think about, that I reflect on now, it's just like come on, you know, like why are you know better. Like you should be smart about this. You should be figuring this out, you know? So yeah, maybe like fighting with myself a lot. I don't know. It's a deep question.
Yeah, I like that.
I have to
you had a pretty good answer.
You know?
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know.
Thanks for sharing that. I also think like, it's really vulnerable to share a work in progress answer too.
Yeah.
Like I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm gonna try. And especially like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
My relationship like with myself. Yeah, I think my self-talk is pretty good. I'm really lucky to have that because like I think I've had supportive people in my life, and those are the voices I hear a lot of the time. Whereas if you don't have supportive people in your life, those are sometimes the voices you hear when you fuck up. And I think like if you're doing if things are going well for you, it's really easy to have a good relationship like with yourself. And if things are going poorly, that's when like it's a lot harder. So I think for me, there's a lot of confidence, and so I'm lucky to have that where I'm like, if things are really shitty, I'm like, eventually things will get better. And that's like so helpful to pull you up. Like things can be like, I've had, a breakup recently that was pretty rough. And the whole way through, it's like, okay, eventually things will get better. And that little tiny light is so helpful. Because without it, oh my gosh, you're just stuck it feels like forever, right?
Yeah.
So I think there's that voice that's like really supportive, and it knows that there will be a light.
For sure.
Yeah. Well, dope.
No, this is really good answers. For me right now, I think like I have a version of myself that I want to be, say, like by age 28. So right now, it's just what is the best path to get to that.
Yeah.
So it's
that resonates with me. Yeah.
So it's weird because I'm just kind of like, all right. So there's some things I can't change now, or don't want to put the time into change now. So accept. We'll fix it later. And then it's just like, all right, cool. So because that just frees up time to drive towards your goal, right? And then, so I have this obsessive with taking on way too much until I can't carry the load anymore, completely just like breaking down, picking up the pieces, and then doing that again and again.
Yeah.
So right now, last week was the breakdown. So right now we're putting things back together and seeing what we can run with. So it's just like, I play this game with myself, which is not the greatest, but it's like, how much can you take is the question I get, or the game that I play. So as long as everything's working out, I'm good. And then if I take on too much, I think I'm just doing way too many things at the same time. So it's just figuring out what more can just be accepted and then worked on later. But I don't know. It's also kind of fun working on a bunch of things at the same time.
Yeah.
Because then you're just preoccupied, and then you're like, all right, this is working. You feel like you're putting in work,
it's like,
and reaching that goal.
You don't do it sustainably, but during the period that you do it, it's great. And then you crash, and then you eventually get back to that point where
and then
how long does it take to get from the crash back to that point typically?
It's very quick, because
that's amazing, right? Like you bounce back. Like,
He's an elastic band.
yeah,
literally a week.
It's almost like sustain. Like this is my pattern, and it works really well. I'm gonna get there in time.
I'll
like,
get there.
That's
really
hilarious.
Crazy. It's
That's
actually
amazing.
but also so relatable. Like shit.
Yeah. So all right. So we're on the come up right now. You know what I mean? We fixing everything up.
Building, growing.
That's it. So it's all right. We good.
Do we have time for one more? One more? Cool. Let's just do one more. We're at 72, so let's rock one more.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright.
Cool.
Whose turn is it?
I think Jalen's.
Oh shoot! I guess we'll end it on a deep one then.
Okay.
I was gonna say shallow,
medium if you want.
Yeah, we can bring this up.
We can bring it back up.
Yeah, let's bring it back up. We're coming to the end. We can bring it back
Yeah,
up.
we can bring it back up.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah.
Let's do medium.
Unless you want to do deep. Like we don't want to. I want you to do what you want to do.
Peer pressure. No, Jay.
No, do honestly, whatever comes to mind. Just
I'm down for deep. It's
down
just
for whatever,
I'm down for anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I thought we just keep the energy going.
Yeah,
and
keep
like
it.
Cool.
Let's keep it. Let's
Yeah.
go.
Deep.
deep.
Yeah, we can do deep.
Shit is deep.
Let's do that one.
Why did you leave your
That's
ex-girlfriend?
interesting. Keep going. Do one. Skip one more.
You want to come on?
Under the titty. She didn't click under the titty.
All right. Yeah,
You like
this
that?
is interesting though.
All right.
This is an interesting one.
All right.
We read through a few.
Serious question.
This
serious.
Should
what makes you feel connected to someone?
Ooh.
Should I lead? Am
It's
I
your
lead?
question.
All right. No, I know. I was just thinking.
Or
you know.
if you need time, we can like.
Yeah. If you need time.
Yeah. Come back to me.
All right, blessings. Yep.
Oh fuck.
All right.
All right. Yeah. You got one.
Yeah, sure. For me, it's definitely laughter. Like I love it when we're both laughing because I'm usually the funny one. I make jokes. I don't think I'm funny, but you try and end things out with
You're
a punchline.
funny.
Oh, thank you. That's the thing I do. That's what I like, give me compliments. So when like I usually get the other side where the other person's laughing, but then when I'm laughing too, boom, that's just magic for me because I'm like, all right, cool. So it's like it's kind of like that. I don't know. Say like if Superman were to meet Wonder Woman, right? Because like he's like, oh, I can do all this cool stuff, and then everyone like I'm saving everyone, and then you meet someone else who's also kicking ass, and then you're like, whoa. It's also cool that you can also do that. So it's so whenever there's like when I'm laughing, they're laughing at the same time. I'm like, boom, that's perfect.
Cool.
Shit. You know what? I think for me, laughter is a big part of it. But one of the biggest things I think when I feel connected to somebody is like when we're in a setting that maybe isn't like, I don't know how to say it. I don't understand. Like, I always feel weirdly connected to somebody when it's like we're in a big group of people, but like it feels like the two of us have like our own vibe going.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, I like that.
Magic. Yeah,
I like that.
So like it's like we're all interacting together, but for some weird reason, be it like eye contact. Eye contact's a huge thing for me. Like it could be eye contact. It could be just like those 1-2 more looks, whatever. Obviously talking about a girl, like in terms of connecting with a female on that level. Like I think those things are really big for me. And it's just that feeling of like when I'm in a group and like we're all still having fun, but it also feels like there's this other vibe going on, but like it's not taking away from the group. I think is when I really feel connected to somebody more so. Because I think there's so many connections happening that if I'm still drawn to this one person, then there's like a real thick connection. But then in terms of just talking to people, or like in terms of like not maybe a romantic connection, just a regular connection, it's kind of moments like these. And getting the chance, that's why I love this game so much, is like getting the chance to hear this perspective of somebody and kind of understand them deeper. So, I mean, I've known Rory for years now, and like I remember like a video surfaced of us the other day, like in the back of like Rory's dad's van. And like it's literally like 8, 9, maybe even 10 of us in this van.
There are 14 people.
14 people in a 7-seater van, but the seats in the back are down. We're literally lying on top of each other in the trunk of this van, and like it was just like such a good time. But I never really felt connected to Rory or anything. Like it was just kind of we're all friends of friends. And then when we started like kind of getting close in the last few years, it's just like this feeling of like, holy shit, like this dude, whenever I hang out with Rory, whether it be at his house, whether it be somewhere else, whether it be with all his people, I always like had this weird connection where I'm like, I know if we need to have like a real deep conversation, whether it's like relationships, just the world, mental health, like all these different things. I don't know, maybe it's just because you're good at that stuff, but like in the sense that you're good at talking and like having someone feel like they're being listened to, I guess. I just always feel like that connection is huge. So maybe it's just like being able to understand that when I talk to somebody, we're on the same page is like really big for me. And like I always feel connected in that sense and like learning more about somebody, which is really cool.
Thank you.
Yeah,
that
I don't
like
know.
super warmed my heart. Not even gonna like
Yeah.
And you know what? I feel like last time we had a conversation
Yeah.
like in this kind of same vibe, I was so impressed with your ability to
Yeah.
hold what other people said as well, and like your ability to listen while contributing and not take away from what they said, and like you take what people say and you add to that, and it's just like people feel heard as well, like which is so important and so rare. So I think I relate to that. Let me jump in because I kind of want to give you the space to end, if that's okay. But yeah, I think that, and super in the moment, like phones away, maybe like you're doing something that you haven't done before, like whatever it is. It could be like you could be out in a place that you've never been, or watching something you never watched, but actually like more in the present, like, or having a conversation you've never had, but just like you're totally present with the other person and close, like just sitting close together. I find that to be like when I feel the most connected to someone. And then I think what you talked about, and I think maybe with the laughter as well, like there's this piece about when you're confident that they feel the same way.
I I didn't think about that.
That's
but
really good.
That makes
Like-
that's sick.
Yeah, like when you're talking about like in a big group
Yeah,
and you're
yeah,
next to
yeah.
somebody
That
and
makes so much sense.
and you click with them and there's no self-consciousness getting in the way. There's like this certainty. Maybe you texted in advance and been like, "Oh, I'm so excited to see you that day." You know, whatever it is that led to that,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
whatever led to it, it's the certainty that they are on the same page with you. So like we both are enthusiastic about what we're doing right now. So you forget about the self-consciousness. You're one mindfully into the moment, and it's just like, and you're close, and you're connecting. That's what I love,
sick.
and it's so awesome.
Yeah, then everybody looks at me. Yeah. Well, I feel like everybody took the good answers. I'm gonna preface it. I'm gonna preface it with that because when I was hearing everybody, I was like,
Doesn't need to be amazing, but just what
but
is
I'm
for
just
you
your
though?
answer.
Yeah, I want to hear
You could
your
agree with
answer.
all three of us.
no,
It's
that's
your
what I'm
answer.
saying. That's why I was like, yo, I'll copy and paste that because everybody kind of like said what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I guess just to like add on to everybody's thing, I would say probably like when you get into their headspace and they get into your headspace, and then it's like it's almost like you guys are reading each other's minds. Like you'll say something, and then they'll say something, and they're just like, "Yo, no," like or like they'll finish it. They'll finish a joke. You know, that's happening. That's happened to me a few times. So that's why I'm like, you know what? I think that's when the connection, when you feel connected to somebody, when they're in your mind, I'm in your mind. We just had that same connection. We finish like each other's sentences or jokes or whatever. You know, like it'll just
Yeah,
it just clicks on that way. Yeah, it's just like you understand what I'm thinking. You understand how I feel in this exact same moment, and I know exactly how you're feeling and how you're saying. Like, I would say that's when you're connected to someone.
Cool,
Nice.
Yeah, I'll just say that. I'll be on that.
love it.
Wow.
What a good last question. I
I
feel
know.
connected to
That
you
was
all.
great. This
Yeah.
was.
Yeah,
I was not even
Now,
ready for
now I
this.
feel like I need like my R&B jazz 91.
I was about to say.
That was Frank
Rockets
Hamilton and the
that
Ruggeds.
sleep.
Now I need a-
Whether you're-
1960s.
Now I need a shot of vodka to forget
Yeah, I
about
know.
this. No, I'm
Shit.
joking.
I forget about
I need
until next Tuesday when it drops.
Exactly.
No, so yeah, you know what? Yeah, let's end it there. I think we're all in a very nice space. I want to thank our video guys
Oh yeah.
for today. It's gonna be sick.
Yash
I'm
and
excited
Joe.
to
Yash
see
and
it.
Joe.
Yeah, Yash and
Yeah.
Joe.
Oh my goodness.
Maybe one day we'll get you on the other side of the camera.
Definitely.
But,
Yo, Yash always has some hot takes. You
I know.
Like,
I've heard he's got some fucking fire takes.
Yeah.
So
we
it's
don't want a
gonna
reckless
be-
topic. That's what we need him for.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm just happy that this is like what's going on right now, and the feel I have about this is like really good. I'm very happy to thank you for Rory for coming out. If you're listening to the podcast, I'm not gonna end it here. I'll let you guys get your stuff off, but don't be afraid to like kind of have these conversations or like make your own shallow, medium, deep. Some version of meeting with people in a group, whether you know them, kind of know them, or just acquaintances or just met them, and like having these conversations, I think almost is what this podcast is for. Right?
Yeah.
Like the whole idea of this podcast was for the fear of silence. It was for the like fear of being spoken for and not listened to. And as young adults, we have kind of been groomed into this idea that millennials want this, or millennials don't do this, or millennials are lazy. And it's like, yeah, but the millennials aren't the one telling you guys these things. You guys are just deciding that this is how we are because we don't naturally do the same things that you guys did. And I think that this has always been like a really cool thing for me in terms of just connecting with people and understanding that like those weird fucking thoughts that we all have that we think are so fucking out there. You sit in a group of like 8 people and play this game, at least one other person is like, oh, like how many things did we agree on that you wouldn't have thought we would have agreed on, right? Like it's amazing to do these things. So just go out there if you're listening to this and like try and have these moments when you can.
Yeah.
Oh, final thoughts? Yeah, no, I love how Rory said just like as you're going into the deep, remember like keep the tone. Not, you didn't say those words. I'm not putting words in your mouth.
Take it. I'm going to take what did you draw from it though?
But essentially, because now I had to like consciously like how many times I was just like, oh, I can make a joke, but I was like, no, this is not appropriate. So like I'm more conditioned to play games like what's that black box and the white cards?
Cards Against Humanity.
Right, so then like I'll feel comfortable making dick jokes with 40-year-olds or my friends' parents or whatever. But I'm like, why am I not comfortable or why am I not even exposed to like say a game like Shallow, Medium, Deep, where now you're
Right.
just tackling a completely different part, which could be equally as like you're also reaching in, right? Even for Cards Against Humanities, you are reaching into a place, and you're like, well, I really hope this disgusting thing I put down is chosen because my peers think also that like whatever stuff.
It's still vulnerable in a way.
Tentacles and Obama belong together on this card. You know what I mean? But then this is just another pocket of your soul, really, where you can like also deepen and also bring out where other people can be like, oh, we can also connect on this, right? So, and it's a lot more like human. I feel like the other stuff I feel like maybe just like stockpiled in because of the Twitter content that I absorb, but this one is kind of just like, okay, introspective, and I really gotta dig deep and think about who I am and what I'm about. So no, this is definitely amazing, and cool.
Cool, Marcel. Nice to meet you in the context of this. I love that. I guess, do you want to go now?
I don't have nothing to say.
This guy's in a vibe. You hear that voice? That's a Jalen vibe voice.
That's blunt number 2 right now.
Yeah,
that's blunt number 2.
He's either vibing or he's high. And I don't think he smoked. So. Yeah.
No.
Rory, how did you like the podcast?
I love it. I think for the Fear of Silence, like just the idea of like bringing these conversations out. Like I think a lot of the things that we got to talk about today, you rarely, if ever, hear that stuff from young dudes. And so, like, I think it's really cool. And I'm glad we got to talk about some vulnerable shit. Like, I think that's really what's missing. And also, like, fun. I have fun every time. Also just fun to hang out with you every single time. You hang out with Jalen every single time. Marcel, you're cool. I feel like I haven't said a negative thing today, so maybe I should just insult someone. But
oh, for sure.
Yeah, you should insult someone.
the videographer's garbage. No, I'm just joking.
Wow.
Can't even defend themselves. Don't have a mic.
I don't know.
They're like, cut. Turn the lights off. It's over.
That hurt me more than it hurt them. I think. Like
that's a wrap.
Oh God.
5 more minutes.
I didn't even know. I haven't looked at the video. But yeah, thanks for having me. This is so fun.
Thanks
Thanks
for
guys.
joining us last minute. So so as I always say, that's the episode. Please reach out to us if you liked it. I have been, and obviously the guys would appreciate it too. If you ever have any podcast topics when you're listening to this that you wish we kind of dove deeper into or we just haven't talked about yet, I had a lot. Like I posted on Instagram story today asking some people, got a couple good ones. But yeah, just fuck, man. I put the socials in all the bios. Just reach out to us. We honestly really want the 30 listeners that we get every podcast
love you
to feel like this is their podcast, to hear us talk about things and join the conversation as much as possible.
It over the edge, you know?
Yeah,
for sure.
I hope so. I mean, we got pretty
This
deep.
is vulnerable.
So. All right, that's see you guys next week.
All right, peace.
Peace.
Later.